Hi everyone, my name is Bhavna and today I'm here with the video on the stage 2 of the SSB testing. In the previous videos, we covered the stage 1 testing, which included both your OIR and PP and TT discussions. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the stage 2 testing and and briefly we'll discuss about the various tests that we will be undergoing in the stage 2 of the SSB testing. Okay, so stage 2 testing, as we all know, consists of majorly 3+1 test, which includes your psychology test, group testing, and the interview, and followed by conference on the last day of the SSB. So all the tests that I just mentioned above are not actually tests, but are techniques that are being used by the assessors to assess candidates on the on the 15 officer-like qualities. And the officer-like qualities, I have done deliberate discussions of the 15 OLQs in different videos, and the videos of the same are there on my Instagram page. I'll put the link of the same in the description, so do check those out. Now, moving on. The basis for operation of these three techniques, okay, of the stage 2 testing, majorly, that is the psychology, the group testing, and the interview, can be related to an age-old concept, okay, of understanding people, according to which personality of an individual can be assessed. So, the first is observing how one utilizes his or her mental faculties, okay, that is manusha, which is psychology. Second is listening to his or her speech or conversation, that is the vacha or the interview. And the third is watching how one performs on the ground in a group, in a dynamic group of people. So that is your third, which is karmana, or the group testing on the ground. Okay, so these are the major three techniques on which the candidates are assessed by the assessors. Now, moving on, precise observation of manifestations of these three aspects, namely manusha, vacha, and karmana, provide sufficient information to the assessors to understand or assess a candidate's personality on the basis of the 15 OLQs that the assessors are looking for in a candidate. Okay, तो ये जो तीन टेक्निक्स हैं, your psychology, your interview and GTO, इनमें एक कैंडिडेट किस तरह से रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, that gives enough of the material for the assessors to assess those candidates. मेरी बात समझ में आ रही है? Okay, so now moving on, आज की वीडियो में फ्रॉम हियर ऑन आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग मेजरली अबाउट दी साइकोलॉजी, कि साइकोलॉजी के क्या क्या टेस्ट होने वाले हैं, and in the subsequent videos after this we would be taking each of those psychology tests individually and discuss them in more detail from the SSB's point of view. Now, psychology test क्या है अब, ठीक है? So psychology tests are aimed to bring out the muffled emotions and the dissonant ideas that are usually masked by an individual. तो वो emotions और वो thoughts and ideas जो consciously कोई भी individual, okay, will not put forward, will not put across, उन emotions और ideas और thoughts को psychology test बाहर निकालते हैं. Okay, so that is the aim of psychology test, that they don't let you think consciously. Your subconscious thoughts, ideas, emotions come into picture through the psychology test. बात समझ में आ रही है यहाँ तक? So they don't give you that conscious time, or they don't let you make that conscious effort to react. तो psychology test का majorly एक यही aim है. ओके, नाउ मूविंग ऑन, ये प्रोजेक्टिव टेस्टिंग है. प्रोजेक्टिव टेस्टिंग जिसमें आपको किसी पर्टिकुलर स्केल पे जज नहीं कर रहे हैं, बट वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग आउट द बेस्ट एंड वर्स्ट ऑफ योर साइकोलॉजीज, ऑफ योर सबकॉन्शियस. ठीक है, सो दीज टेस्ट्स, the psychology test, they test you they test your subconscious mind, which includes your deep rooted emotions, motivations, value system, fears, behavioral patterns and tendencies. सारी ये जो 4 5 6 चीजें मैंने अभी मेंशन करी, इनको सबकॉन्शियसली, मतलब आप आपको अगर बिल्कुल मौका ना दिया जाए, ओके, जैसे रिफ्लेक्स एक्शंस होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू टच अ हॉट पैन, है ना, सो यू immediately remove your hand. Do you think about it consciously? You don't. So like that, okay, एक तरह से जो आपके reflex actions होंगे in a situation of emergency, in a situation जो बहुत immediate है, बहुत urgent है ना, emergent है, उस situation में आपके क्या responses होंगे, उनको निकालने के लिए psychology test किया जाता है. Now, जो हमारा psychology test SSB में है होते हैं, they are majorly based on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. तो मैस्लो, ज़्यादा टेक्निकलिटीज में नहीं जाऊंगी बिकॉज वो हमारे लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है एज कैंडिडेट. एज अ कैंडिडेट हमें सिर्फ इतना जानने की ज़रूरत है कि मैस्लोज हायरार्की ऑफ नीड्स कहती है कि हर इंडिविजुअल की कुछ नीड्स हैं और उनकी हायरार्की है. ओके, देयर आर सम नीड्स जो एक बेसिक लेवल पे सबको चाहिए होती है और उसके बाद कुछ वो नीड्स जो हैं कम होती जाती हैं डिपेंडिंग ऑन द काइंड ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी यू हैव. ओके, जो एक बेसिक बेस है उस hierarchy ka, that is going to be same for every candidate. Every candidate will possess those needs and those qualities, and after that आपके motivations, आपके emotions, आपका behavioral pattern, आपका value system, the things that you're aiming for in life, उनके हिसाब से आपकी ऊपर की जो hierarchy है of the needs will go on. मतलब एक pyramid बनता जाएगा, वो कम होता जाएगा और उसी तरह से आपके जो क्वालिटीज भी हैं मे बी, ओके, द क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट वो भी शार्पन होता जाएगा या कम होता जाएगा. नॉट एवरी कैंडिडेट विल बी पोजेसिंग दैट. मेरी बात समझ में आ रही है यहाँ तक? चलो, नाउ मूविंग ऑन. साइकोलॉजी टेस्ट में मेजरली 4 टेस्ट हैं, ठीक है, ये बात बहुत ध्यान से सुननी है. साइकोलॉजी टेस्ट कंटेन्स मेजरली 4 टेस्ट, वो सबको पता है. फर्स्ट इज योर थीमैटिक ए परसेप्शन टेस्ट और TAT. Second is your WAT, which is word association test, and third is situation reaction test, SRT, and fourth is SDT, self description test. Now, the important part is कि psychology test में सारे टेस्ट की equal weightage नहीं है, but equally important है. Weightage is not equal, but they are equally important. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि आपका TAT for example comprises of 60% of the marks. एक तरह से अगर मैं उसको marks में divide करूँ, right, 60% of your psychology is tested on the basis of the stories that you write in TAT. ठीक है, so your TAT is 60% of the total weightage of the psychology test. Your WAT and SRT is 15% each of the total weightage of the psychology, and SDT is 10%. So these tests make use of a particular stimuli put to you in a fixed time frame so that you don't give your responses consciously. So your subconscious is the most important or basic thing that is put to test in psychology test. And no matter how coached the candidate is, your weaknesses and your unresolved issues come out clear in your responses. So the best way to perform in the psychology test and in SSB in general is to convert your weaknesses into your strengths, is to work on your weaknesses and convert them into your strengths. Not only, just by making your responses better by either learning, doing the rote learning of the responses, but by working on your weaknesses in your real life, in your day-to-day life, and convert them into your strengths, so that it comes very naturally and automatically in your responses also, in your subconscious responses also. So that way you can prepare for your psychology. Okay, so candidates, what happens at times is कि candidates learn about psychology and all these different tests of the SSB, but what happens is that they perform still differently in the various tests, okay, because maybe they approach all the 3 different tests in a different way. है ना. So what happens is that what will happen in that case is कि your truth of your personality does come out in the psychology. You can't fake your responses. Doesn't matter how coached or how well guided a candidate you are. Okay, so what happens is candidates at times gives contradictory responses. Their responses vary in all the three tests, in psychology, in interview, and GTO. And what happens is at some places they show certain qualities, and in the other places those qualities are not there. They are completely vacant. Okay, so that gives a clear picture to the psychology, and that's enough for a psychologist to understand that the candidate is not only confused and delusional but is also trying to be someone else, that who he or she is not. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this video. हमने इसमें क्या जाना कि psychology में 4 टेस्ट होने वाले हैं, and they are basically testing your subconscious in the psychology test. Doesn't matter आप कितना rote learning कर लें of the kind of the different stories of the responses in your WAT and SRTs and your SDT also, but your true personality will come into picture क्योंकि time bound test है. They are putting you under pressure, giving you no time to think. So either you make your weaknesses your strengths and you work on your weaknesses in your real life so that it becomes an inherent part of your personalities and you don't have to learn it. आपको एक conscious effort नहीं लगाना पड़ेगा to keep those stories in mind. They will come very naturally to you because you have implemented those good things or the habits in your life, and now you no more need to learn them or to keep them in your head very subconsciously by making a conscious effort. मेरी बात समझ में आ रही है? ओके, सो इसके साथ ही ये वीडियो खत्म होती है. इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो आई शैल बी टेकिंग अप ईच ऑफ द टेस्ट ऑफ द साइकोलॉजी, thematic perception test, WAT, SRT and SDT individually, and we'll discuss how to approach each of those tests individually or what is expected of us generally in those particular tests. ठीक है, that we will discuss in the next one. So please stay tuned for that and do give a thumbs up to the video if you like the content or if you like the video videos that we are creating for you. And if you like the content, please share and subscribe, and that would mean a lot to us. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon in the next one.